Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. This video is a crochet tutorial for this wavy ripple sweater. It's super easy, super fast to crochet and super beginner friendly, so I hope you like it. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Lala. I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel and like this video so I can continue grow my channel and upload a new crochet tutorial every week. Let's get crocheting! To begin, work a slip knot and then chain 68. If you want your sweater to be shorter, more cropped, you can work 57 chains. To work a chain, pass the hook under the yarn and grab the yarn into the loop with your hook. This is chain 1, we're going to work 67 more. Now that we have our foundation chain, make sure that you have the right number of chains, and then we're going to work into the back loops of the chains. If you give your foundation chain a little twist, you'll see that you have little bumps here. We're going to start working into the second chain from the hook, not this one, but the one next to it. Make sure that you're not skipping too many back bumps, and make sure you go exactly into the second one. The first one can be a little bit hidden. You have to skip only this one and go into the next one after it. Insert your hook into the bump, yarn over, into the loop. When you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over into the both of them. Now we're going to work a stacked single crochet in order to form a fake double crochet. How do we do that? We're going to insert our hook into the left loop of the single crochet, yarn over into the left loop only, then you're going to yarn over into both loops on your hook. And this is the first fake double crochet we have. We're going to work another double crochet into that same back bump. So yarn over into that same bump, yarn over into the loop. When you have 3 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over into the left 2 only, and yarn over into the remaining 2 loops. I recommend using a stitch marker to mark the first stitch. Next, you're going to work 4 double crochets into the next 4 back bumps. After we worked 4 double crochets, we're going to skip the next 2 bumps. Skip this one, and work another 4 double crochets into the next 4 bumps. After we worked 4 double crochets, we're going to work 3 double crochets into the next bump. 3 double crochets in 1 bump. This is what it looked like. And this is the pattern that we're going to repeat. You're going to repeat 4 double crochets, skip 2, and then 4 more double crochets, and next 3 double crochets in 1 stitch. Let's repeat that again. 4 double crochets, 1 in each back bump, after 4 double crochets, skip 2 bumps, and continue working 4 more double crochets in the next 4 bumps. Next, work 3 more double crochets in 1 bump. One double crochet, and to that same bump, 2 more double crochets. Excluding that first increase we did at the beginning of the row, we're going to repeat this pattern, 4 double crochets, skip 2, 4 double crochets, 3 double crochets in 1 stitch until we reach the end of the row and we have 1 stitch left. So let's complete our first row and I'll see you back again at the end when we have 1 stitch left. When you're done with the pattern, you're supposed to have 1 stitch left at the end. So what we're going to do is work an increase just like we did in the beginning of the round into that last back bump. You can help the hook with your fingers if it's a bit tight. 1 double crochet and another one into that same back bump. And this was our first row. To start row 2, turn your work and work a stacked single crochet into that first stitch here. Yarn over into the loop. When you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over into the 2 of them, and then insert your hook into that left loop here. Yarn over into the loop and yarn over into the 2 loops. Then we're going to work another double crochet into that first stitch. Next, we're going to work 4 double crochets. Next, you're going to skip 2 stitches and work 4 more double crochets into the next 4 stitches. So skip, skip, and work double crochet. Next, work 3 double crochets in the next stitch. 3 double crochets in one stitch. So 1 double crochet and 2 into the same stitch and 3 into the same stitch. And like before, this is the pattern that we're going to repeat. 4 double crochets, skip 2 stitches, 4 double crochets, and work 3 double crochets in one stitch. Let's work this pattern until we have 1 stitch left at the end of the row. Four double crochets, skip 2 stitches, and work 4 more double crochets in the next 4 stitches. Next, work 3 double crochets in the next stitch. I'm going to complete the row off camera and I'll see you back again when we have 1 stitch left. When you got to the end of the round, make sure that between each of the skipping parts and the increasing parts you have 4, 4, 4, 4 double crochets, and you didn't add too many double crochets or made 3. It happened to me a lot. And in the last double crochet, you guessed it right, we're going to work an increase. One double crochet and another one into that same stitch. What we're going to do next is repeat row 2 until we reach the end of row 5. So let's work 3 more rows exactly like this, and I'll see you back again at the end of row 5. When you got to the end of the round, make sure you have all the right stitches, increases, and skipping. Let's work our last increase in the last double crochet, and then you're going to chain 1, grab your scissors or your cutter, cut off the yarn. No need to leave too long tail. Pull the hook away and tighten it up. Next, we're going to attach our second color. So you can use any method you like to add a new yarn, but I like to first work a slip knot. Turn your work as if you're starting a new row. insert your hook into the first double crochet of the round, which is the last double crochet we did. Grab the yarn to your hand, take the two tails with you and secure them, yarn over into the loop, and now you have two loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over into the two of them. Now we have our first single crochet. In order to make a double crochet, you're going to insert your hook into the left loop, yarn over into the loop, and when you have two loops on your hook, yarn over into both of them. And just like before, we're going to work another double crochet into that first stitch. Yarn over and yarn over. I recommend using a stitch marker here so you won't get confused with the first double crochet of the round because we added a new yarn. And you're going to repeat what we did up until now, 4 double crochets. Don't forget to take the tails with you to secure them. Skip 2 stitches and continue working the pattern that we did up until now. And at the end of row 6, we're going to work as usual and increase in the last stitch. Next, we're going to again repeat row 2. Turn your work, work 2 double crochets in the first stitch, making the first stitch a standing stitch, and continue working the pattern that we just repeated from rows 2 to 5. And we're going to repeat row 2 from row 7 until row 10. So let's work 4 more rounds and I'll see you back again on the last stitch of row 10. Once you finished row 10 and you made the last increase, you're going to chain 1, grab your scissors and cut off the yarn, pull away the hook, tighten up the knot, turn your work, and repeat row 6. Make a slip knot, attach the first color yarn to the first double crochet of the round, and repeat row 6. Next, you're going to repeat row 6 to row 10, and you're simply going to alternate between the colors every 5 rows. I'm going to make mine for size extra large because I want it to be extra cozy and extra oversized. So I'll see you back again at the end of row 35 or 45. When you're finished with your final row, which is 35 or 45, depends on the size you're making. Chain 1, and as before, cut off the yarn and fasten off. And of course, now is the time to cut off any ends. This is how my front panel looks when I have 35 rows. If you have 45 rows, it will be a little wider. And now that we have our panel, of course that we have to make another one exactly like this. Repeat part 1, and I'll see you back again when we have 2 panels to connect them together. To connect the panels, you have to make sure the direction of the panels looks like this, so it will match together like puzzle pieces. And then you can turn the panel and start connecting the panels. Next, grab 2 stitch markers and start counting stitches until you reach stitch number 28. And do the same with the other panel. Make sure that the layout and your counting is right, and then we can start attaching the panels together. Turn your work. It will be more comfortable to work like this. Grab color A yarn, work a slip knot and put it on the hook. And we're going to use a slip stitch to attach each stitch of one panel to the corresponding stitch on the other panel. Insert your hook into the first stitch and into the next one. Yarn over and into the loop. Move to the next stitch and do the same. Make sure you don't miss any stitch on the way. Keep working slip stitches until you reach the stitch marker that we put on the 28th stitch. And when you got to the stitch marker and our panels are attached, make sure you didn't miss any stitch. If in the beginning of the project you chained 68 chains, you're supposed to have 39 slip stitches here, and if you chained 57, you're supposed to have 28 slip stitches. Chain 1, grab your scissors, cut off the yarn, and fasten off. Now turn your work to the other side, and after you marked with the stitch marker the 28th stitch of each panel, grab your hook and slip stitch the other section together. Once the 2 sides are attached, don't take out the stitch markers, it will help us later when we do the first round of the sleeves. Now we're going up to work on the top of the sweater. You're going to count 8 rows from each side. Grab a stitch marker and mark between the 8th and the 9th row from the edge. And of course, do the same on the other side and also on the other panel. And we're going to attach together these 2 sections. This will be our hole for the head and this for the shoulders. So the way we're going to do this is attach color A yarn, of course, make a slip knot and put it on the hook. And we're going to work 2 slip stitches to each row. This is a row, we're going to work 2 slip stitches on this double crochet here. Move to the other row and put another 2 slip stitches. When you get to the stitch markers, you're supposed to have 16 slip stitches. One and 2 into the 2 panels. Move to the next row and work 2 more slip stitches on this double crochets. Next step is not a must, but it's optional. I think it looks a lot better like this. When you do the last slip stitch of the first color, insert your hook into the stitches, into the panel, but drop the yarn and replace it with the other color. If you don't want this, you can just continue with the same color. And continue working 2 slip stitches to each row as we did before. The right row to the corresponding row. When you're done, simply work 1 chain and cut off the yarn. We will weave in all ends later. Then you can take out the stitch markers of the head. Move to the other side and do the exact same thing. 16 slip stitches in 8 rows. Now that both our panels are attached, we can start working on the sleeves. First, we're going to flip our sweater so the stitching won't be visible. And now we can start working on the sleeve. Grab your second color, mine is this mustard, work a slip knot, put it on the hook, and you can pick any stitch from these stitches around here. Insert your hook into one of the stitches, grab the yarn over into the loop and work a single crochet. I recommend to mark this first single crochet with a stitch marker, but you don't have to. Continue working single crochets in the next stitches. And when you get to the chain 2 space, you're going to single crochet 2 into this chain space. And then work single crochet into the next stitch regularly. When you got to the stitch marker, just take it out and work as usual, 1 single crochet or 2 into the chain space. Take out the stitch marker, skip this stitch in here and simply go into the next stitch. At the end of this round, you're supposed to have 56 single crochets, so keep working your round and I'll see you back again at the end of the round. When you get to the point where the 2 panels connect, simply skip this stitch here and go straight into the stitch on the other panel. And continue working single crochets as usual. Let's work our last single crochet of the round. And again, count your stitches and make sure that you have 56 stitches around. Only then you can take out your stitch marker, if you used one, and slip stitch into that first single crochet we did in the beginning. Yarn over into all of the loops. Then chain 1 for security. Next, we're going to work a single crochet into the first single crochet of the round we just slip stitched into. So work 1 single crochet and insert your hook into the left loop to work a stacked single crochet. Next, work a double crochet into the same stitch. Next, work 4 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. Then you're going to skip 2 and work another 4 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. So skip 1, skip 2, and double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the next stitch, you're going to work 3 double crochets in 1 stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And repeat this pattern until you have 1 stitch remaining at the end of the round. 4 double crochets, skip 2, 4 double crochets, 3 double crochets in 1 stitch. Let's do that one more time. Skip 2 stitches and 4 double crochets. And 3 double crochets in 1 stitch. And let's repeat this pattern until we have 1 stitch left at the end of the round. And when you got to the end of the round, you'll have 1 stitch left. You're going to increase, work 2 double crochets into that same stitch. Then you're going to slip stitch into that first stacked single crochet we did in the beginning. Insert your hook, yarn over into the loops, and chain 1 for security. Next, you're going to repeat row 2 until you reach row 30. And just like we did in the main panels, you're going to alternate between the colors every 5 rows. So 5 rows of this color, and then you're going to switch to the first color. Let's work our sleeve and meet again at row something something. This is what it will look like when we have one sleeve done. Of course, then now we have to go and repeat part 3 to make another sleeve on the other side. Don't forget that if you're making size medium, you have to start with the other color. Welcome back. Now that we have our 2 sleeves done, it's time for the final and most exciting part, taking out all of the stitch markers and weaving in ends using our darning needle. And finally, after we've finished weaving in all ends, this is the final piece. I really hope you enjoyed making it as much as I did. If you like this video and you find this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribe to my channel. I upload a new crochet tutorial every week. Thanks for watching, see you next week!